Happy Camper Radio starts in 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, glad to be back once again. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper, and we are going to do our best to make a happy camper out of you. Look who I routed out of bed. No, were you out of bed, Daniel, when I called you?
Yeah,
or
I was a little
texted
bit. You know, the term happy camper, I think that just means happy. I don't know how much it means as far as camping is concerned. I think it just means happy person in general. So we're out to make a happy person. We just do it by telling them that they should go camping, and it's the greatest thing ever.
Well, Daniel, how would this sound if we called it the Unhappy Camper Radio Show?
I don't know. Sometimes that's appropriate.
I don't think our listeners would appreciate that very much.
The frustrated camper, because it can be frustrating from time to time.
Well, that it can be. And I'm a little frustrated this morning because one of the headpieces in my headset is not working right.
Yeah.
I can hear you through my right ear. I'd like to hear you through both ears.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I'm sure everyone who's gone camping and they forgot something, it's kind of like doing a home improvement project. You go to Home Depot or Lowe's, oh, you get this part, but then you need another part. So, like, if you're camping, somewhere, and you're like, oh, I forgot this. Now I got to go get this. Now I got to go get this. And it's like the whole first day is like one back and forth trip to the store. I mean, unless you're you, of course.
Well, on today's show, Daniel, today we're going to be talking about camping around home.
Oh.
In fact, we're going to be talking about what it's like to go camping in the dark.
Okay.
Yes. Have you ever been in a situation like we were about 30 minutes ago when the power went out?
No, not camping, because they've got the power good and regulated.
I would like to think so. But let's stop and think about this here for a moment. There have been some natural disasters recently on the East Coast and the West Coast, and I really feel for these people. Nobody likes to have their lives interrupted. As a society, I think we have all become too spoiled to a certain extent. We have power, we have cable, we have water, we have this, we have that. It's part of our everyday lives. But what were to happen if you were home and the power went out, not just for an hour or two, but for several days? I think as campers, our natural camping instincts would immediately kick in. And we're going to talk about that on today's show. Our phone number here at Happy Camper Radio is 404-537-2267. That's 404-537-CAMP. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, add us to Circles on Google+, and now subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to our homepage, www.happycamperradio.com. You'll find all of our social media icons on the right-hand side of the page. Click on any one of them, and you're good to go. Let's head on over here to the shout-out window. We've got quite a few people we want to say hello to, individuals who have signed on to social media here this past week. First of all, to the Silent Valley Club RV Resort in Southern California, Carmen Acevedo Bissonette of Tampa, Florida. They like us on Facebook. Ian McIntosh of Littleton, Colorado. David Heffelfinger of Alabama. Todd Lacey of Toledo, Ohio. Paul Sims. Brett Martin of Pendleton, Indiana. Gene Griswold of Knoxville, Tennessee. Woods and Water Family Outdoor Blog, as well as Catalina Montoya. They are following us on Twitter. And finally, to Rob Keel of Get-Go Outdoors and Jesus Guerrera, who added us to Circles this past week on Google+. Thank you, each and every one of you, for joining us. So happy to have you aboard as part of our great Happy Camper Radio family. Would you like to be on the program and join Daniel and I? Give me a shout, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, and we'll make that happen. All right, Daniel, I have spent too much money here these past couple weeks. With the addition...
Just weeks?
Oh, my heavens. Daniel, you don't know my wallet. and it's feeling pretty thin right about now. With the new addition of Gander Mountain up the road, and I've been there a few times already, I am attracted to that store like a magnet.
I might go up there, actually.
Every time I walk into a place like that, I say, no, I'm just going to see what's new and out there today, which I can put on my wish list.
Right.
Well, my wish list just comes right out of my wallet each and every time. And I'm always buying something. And I'm not really complaining about it until I need to have my wallet replenished.
Right.
But I've got a bunch of new stuff in the garage, and I can't wait for the next camping trip. Here's the neat thing. In the event we ever have a power outage, whereas the power were to go out, say, for 3 or 4 days. We haven't seen that happen in a long time. I can remember at my old residence, we were without power for 2 days because of a bad ice storm.
93?
No, it wasn't 93. It was because my daughter was born in 93, and we had an ice storm somewhere in between there. But immediately, the camping instinct kicked in, and I knew I was going to have to adjust. I was going to have to provide comfort not only for myself, but for my family as well. And when you're a camper and you have camping equipment stored, that camping equipment is going to come out.
You had the hurricane lamps? We always used to break out the hurricane lamps when there was a power outage.
Well,
I
bought a couple of big flashlights the other day, and I've got them on standby. And you know what else I've got? And when I go to some of these campgrounds, and when I'm around some of my buddies who go camping, Daniel, have you ever seen one of these little flashlights that you attach to the bill of your ball cap?
Oh yeah. We it's funny, in the post office they have hats, and this is justifying the post office working us so late. They have USPS hats that have a little LED light on there. It's built into the hat. So we can see mail in the dark.
Isn't that cool? All right, and they provide those to you?
No, we have to buy them.
You have,
unfortunately.
Daniel, that's terrible.
Well, it's government.
I'm not going to get into the post office bashing episode today, but maybe another day for that.
Okay.
But I went ahead and I saw one of these, Daniel. I just had to have it. And it was about $14.
Okay.
And when I went to Gander Mountain for the opening day, I got a free ball cap.
Ooh.
So I've got the ball cap in my bedroom, and I've got this light attached to it. And there's been a couple occasions already at night around 11 o'clock when the lights are out and I'm upstairs. I just had to put that on and just kind of find my way around just to get an idea of what it would be like when I'm out there in the woods, having to maybe gather some kindling for the fire or do whatever, or maybe just take a little walk in the forest. Now, I don't mind walking in the forest at nighttime. What I do mind is walking in my house with no power on.
Right.
And it's best to have your light on the ball cap, or if you want to carry a flashlight with you, you've got to be prepared for those things.
Right.
A lot of people are not. Now, one of the things that I do have here at the house, which really helps, and it's going to help a lot, there are some things that are inevitable, Daniel. And if we have a power outage that lasts maybe 3 or 4 days, if you do not have a way to power some essential equipment in your home, like your refrigerator or your freezer, you're going to have spoilage. And it will be a crying shame if you went to the grocery store and you just got done spending a couple $100s in groceries, and the majority of the money you spent were in perishables. In other words, things that you stored in your refrigerator and freezer. 3 or 4 days, the power is out, those items are going to have to be tossed. Unless you have another way of cooling them off or keeping them frozen. And if you don't have an ice maker, then that's not going to do you any good either.
Well, here's what we did. When we lost our freezer for a while, we put all of our stuff into ice boxes or
coolers.
Yeah, coolers, and we put dry ice in there. So that worked really well. And now we get this home delivery of food, and it comes with ice packs. So we throw all those ice packs in our freezer. So just in case the freezer goes kaput, or our refrigerator goes kaput, or our freezer goes kaput, we've got over 100 of those little ice packs that we can put in there, and hopefully when the power comes back on, everything won't be a waste.
Well, unlike many people, I do have a generator. I have a 5,500-watt generator that I bought years ago, and it wasn't long that after I bought my truck camper, I went ahead and spent about $600, $700 on this generator. And the main purpose of having that generator was to attach it to a pull-along trailer that I carried behind my truck. Now, keep in mind that the camper was on top of the truck. I'm traveling down the road. I've got this trailer behind me, and I have this generator on the trailer. And, of course, it's tied down very well. But I was able to run a power cord from my truck camper to the generator in order to keep not only the refrigerator running, but also to power the air conditioner inside of the truck camper.
And how long did that last?
Well, the generator itself, if you have 5 gallons of gasoline in there, I'm guessing you could probably get away with maybe 12 to 15 hours of generator time.
That's pretty good.
Now, the only reason I would have the air conditioner running while the truck was moving is because I would have somebody in the back.
Oh, okay.
Not the safest thing to do. I will admit that. And here I am. I'm the guy who talks about safety up one side and down the other. But I haven't done that in a while. That was a very long time ago. In fact, the laws may have even changed in some states. In some states, you could travel down the road with somebody in the back of your truck camper. In some states, that's not permitted.
Right.
But I would never travel anywhere with family in the back of the camper where it would not be permitted. You really need to be, inside of a vehicle with your seatbelt attached to you.
Right.
All right. But anyway, that's the purpose of having that generator.
Okay.
And it's been sitting around. I do run it every now and then just to, make sure it's working fine.
Right.
But I always have that generator on standby in the event we have to do some emergency camping. The power goes out for several days, and we don't have anything in the house to keep us cool, to keep us warm. The generator comes in handy for that purpose. I went ahead and bought a 5,500-watt generator because I knew that I was going to be powering a lot of things.
Right.
That generator will power the refrigerator in my kitchen, which is the first thing I would connect up to it.
Okay.
The second thing, and I'm going to be working on this, Daniel. I haven't done this yet. I don't want to say I'm a prepper.
Okay.
You may be a prepper.
No.
You know
You're
what
more
prepper
of a prepper
is, do
than
you?
me.
These are,
I've seen the TV show.
I have too, and I'm not into that kind of thing, Daniel.
Right.
But the thing is, if you're going to prepare for an emergency, you don't have to go all the way like some of the people on these shows do. And you don't have to have bunkers in your backyard. You don't have a fruit cellar in your basement with food that you are never going to eat. Some people take this to the extreme, like it's going to be the end of the world here in the next week or so. Not the case. But it's important that you have some things on hand to prepare yourself just in the event you have to go camping, emergency camping in your very own home. Like I said, some of these luxuries may not be there. The electric, the gas, and all this other stuff. So the natural camping instincts will kick in at that particular point. If you are a camper, well, some of the things you're going to bring out, first of all, are the flashlights. I don't have too many flashlights. At least I didn't. The other day, I bought a couple. I bought that ball cap light, which I'm going to take it out on the road when I go camping, but it's also going to come in handy in the event the power goes out here, say maybe 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and I have to go outside and hook up that generator. With that little light on the top of my ball cap, I can move around hands-free. I can see what I need to do and have both hands free to do it.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people, they use their phones for flashlights. That's what I use as my main flashlight. But another thing I was going to say is, as far as camping is concerned, not as far as power outages, but a lot of these campers made nowadays are solar ready. So you can attach certain solar systems to your camper and use that as a backup source in case something happens. And I know they're coming up with batteries now that you can put, like, I think you bury it in your yard and you can attach it to the solar panels and it charges up the battery. And if anything ever happens, the battery just kicks on. Because I know out west, they do a lot of that, when stuff goes bad. But I know up north they have a lot of generators that are attached to houses. We don't really have it as much down here, but
a little on the pricey side.
yeah, it's a good investment if you're kind of away from, civilization and out in the middle of nowhere and you can't get anywhere anytime soon. And, that's probably about as far as I'd go as far as being a prepper or whatever. But I think the generator thing that you have is a really good idea.
It's good, Daniel, and a lot of people don't like buying things that they're not going to use immediately. Yeah. But the way I look at it, even though I bought this generator a long time ago and I did have a regular use for it back then, today I almost look at it like insurance. You buy something in the hopes you're not going to need it, but if you do need it, it is there.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'm going to be working on, hopefully with this weekend, since it's ugly outside again, I was going to burn this weekend.
So was I.
All that brush I've got in the backyard. Yeah, my 2 days off, I was all set to burn, but the county turned around and says, "Oh no, today is not a burn day. You cannot burn." So
well, it
here
is
I
wet
am.
too.
Yeah, well, that was yesterday. Today, yeah, it is wet.
Yeah.
Today is a stay indoors day. But one of the things I'm going to work on today, since I do have a down day, as I'm going to call it, I'm going to attach something to my furnace. Actually, I'm going to redo the wiring in my furnace, so I have a regular outlet coming, or a regular plug coming directly from the blower motor, where it plugs into a regular outlet with an on-off switch.
Okay.
And this way, in the event we do have a power outage, all I have to do is unplug and plug in an extension cord directly to the generator, and in the wintertime, I can power my furnace off the generator, in addition to the refrigerator.
Oh, wow.
The 5,500-watt generator, and I've done my homework already. I looked at the outage and the wattage and what have you to make sure I could do this and make sure I would have enough power for that. And that generator will accomplish that very comfortably. Now, as far as being in the dark, yes, it's going to be important that you have lighting. For me, I would have the refrigerator, freezer powered up. I would still have warmth because I would have the furnace working. The gas, unless there is something happening there where the gas is interrupted to your home, I would still be able to have heat.
You can always use your burners you just bought.
Hey, those burners are going to be
those
for
Coleman
cooking.
stoves.
Hey, I do have gas burners in the stove, but again, not everybody has those. If you live in a house or an apartment and you have electrical appliances and the power goes out, this is where you're going to want to bring out those little butane stoves. Or bring
sure
out your
open a
camping
window.
equipment. Yeah,
Open a window.
You've got to have that ventilation. But then again, Daniel, if you have a house, what is so wrong with going out in the garage, cleaning off the tool bench, and setting up an outdoor kitchen right there?
There you go.
All right?
Or you could just grill everything with charcoal.
yeah. If you've got a patio and you don't have the bad weather, I'm talking rain and sleet and snow coming down, but it's cold, you could still go out on the patio and barbecue.
There you go.
You could still have your hot meals. Nothing wrong with that at all.
An excuse to barbecue.
Okay? But again, I really believe in situations like this, the camping instinct immediately comes out in every one of us. I would tell my kids, when they were younger, if we have a situation like this where we're going to be without power, we have a fireplace downstairs. Break out the sleeping bags, put on an extra layer of clothes, whether it be your jogging suit or whatever it may be. Make sure you have a long sleeve shirt on, put your socks on, because it's going to get a little chilly in here until Dad can go put a fire in the fireplace. But let's start making those preparations. We're going to camp indoors. We're going on a camping trip, and we're going to have fun doing it. All right? We're still going to have everything that we need. We're going to be able to cook because Dad's going to go down to the shed. He's going to bring all his camping gear up here. I'm going to set up an outdoor kitchen in the garage. And the kids being as small as they were back then, all right, they weren't worried about anything. They said, "Hey, Dad, can we help?"
Yeah.
Oh, hey, no problem. I'll find something for you to do. Trust me. All right. But these are the things I'm talking about, and this is why it's so important to have your gear handy. Everybody would like to do more camping than they actually do.
Yeah.
I don't get out as often as I would like to. But still, if you've got that gear on hand, you can put it to good use in the time of need. And one of those times is definitely going to be when the power goes out. We're talking about camping in the dark. So There you have it, Daniel.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking a lot about the things we do and everything, and I'd be curious to see what our listeners do, and if they wanted to email us in and tell us what they thought about, what we're saying and maybe ideas that we haven't thought of. I think that'd be a great idea for them to write in because, we know a little bit, but we don't know everything. So I think it'd be really cool for our community to, help us out and maybe tell us some stuff that we haven't thought of before. And maybe we could talk about it on the later show and talk about, hey, we talked about camping in the dark last week, and some of our listeners emailed in and they told us about this, they told us about that, and that just educates us and everyone in our community even more, and we're just more prepared because that's pretty much the name of the game when it comes to camping. It's always being prepared and, being ready for whatever nature and life throws at you.
Well, like we've talked about right from the very beginning, Daniel, we're not camping experts. We're just two individuals who enjoy camping, and we've got a camping radio show to talk about it.
Exactly.
So, I've got several people who have emailed in, who have called into the show and left messages and says, wow, hey, I heard you talk about this. Well, this is what I did. Wow, yeah. What? Okay.
That's what I love.
I've never heard of anything like that before. Like these fire starters. When we talked about those, Daniel, I mean, the people come out of the woodwork were telling me about what they did. I met some buddies at camp who showed me some things that they had done in preparing some fire starters. So, I mean, there's a number of different ways you can do things, and there's a number of different ways that you can prepare for nature's worst when they decide to bring it upon us. So when you want to go camping, you want to actually do it away from home. But if you have the tools, if you have the supplies, if you have all the necessary things you need for when it's time to go camping in the dark, in your own living room, in your den, in your basement, wherever you're going to do it, because you no longer have some of these resources that we rely upon each and every day, you're going to have your gear, you're going to have ways of making things happen. Staying warm is going to be very important, and a lot of us, Daniel, in addition to the sleeping bags, we have plenty of blankets and what have you to get us through the night. It would be very convenient to say, well, I'm going to go ahead and just toss the kids in the car, I'm going to toss the wife in the car, and we're going to go check into a hotel for the night. Not everybody can afford to do that. Not everybody is going to want to do that. You and I, for example, we may not want to do that for the simple reason we've got pets at home, and we're going to worry about that. Why would we want to go check into a hotel that may not have power anyway?
Exactly.
All right. But why would we want to do that when we're going to make ourselves comfortable and then have to worry about our pets at home, knowing that they're going to be in the house and not be warm and not have food and not have whatever? You don't do things like that.
Yeah, I think another thing that's important is to have one of those battery-operated radios or those hand-crank radios. So when the power does go out, I mean, you want to be informed as to, how long is this going to last? You want to know about what the situation is and what you're looking at there, because, I mean, if you don't know anything and you're in the dark, I mean, you have no clue how long this is going to last. So I think having a battery-operated radio or one of those hand-crank emergency weather radios or, just regular radios, I think that's a really important thing to have too.
Staying in touch and keeping abreast of what is going on outside of your home is also very important. And I have seen those radios, Daniel. They don't run anything more than, I say, about $30. You can buy them. I think Bed Bath & Beyond has them.
Oh, really?
I'm just throwing that out there. But hardware stores, you can find those, because not everybody is going to have a battery-operated radio inside their home. And you don't want to be sitting out there in your pickup truck or your automobile and having to turn on the radio to find out what's happening. Those things are very neat, and they last a good long time as well. Well, I imagine they would last even longer than that. Yeah. Considering the fact all you've got to do is crank them up to get the power.
With the crank, I mean, batteries go bad. If you leave a battery in something for long periods of time, it might, leak out or something like that. So, I mean, that crank, I mean, the crank of your hand doing it, that'll power it, and that's just in case, those batteries don't work. So that's just extra insurance. So that's what I would get.
Yeah, and this is something else we talked about, too, is making sure that you have a cell phone charger for your vehicle. Because if you got a plug-in cell phone charger, at home, it's not going to do you any good if the power is out. Mm-hmm. So you may have situations where you're looking at your iPhone, your smartphone, whatever you have, and you see the battery's running low. You may have to take it out to your vehicle and put it on the charger there for a while so you can at least stay in touch. So there's a lot of important things that you can do, and it's all about camping in the dark and being prepared when you run into a situation like that. Nobody wants to have their lives interrupted, folks. We don't, Daniel and I don't, you don't either. When we go camping, we prepare for situations where we're not going to have electricity. We're not going to have a heater in some cases to put in our tent. We know what we're getting into. We will know what we're walking into when we go camping. So when you're home and the unexpected hits, like it did about an hour or so ago, Daniel, when I had just finished my show notes. Thank heavens for that. And I hit the save button.
Yeah.
About 3 to 10 seconds later, the power went out.
That was crazy.
Oh, I would have been upset. All right. But hey, we got it done. We're able to get over here to do the show. And guess what? We got through the program today without the power going out. It's time now for our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Daniel, where do you think we're going to go today?
Let's see. I'm going to say Idaho.
No, let's go somewhere where it's warm. Let's head south of
Florida.
Atlanta. We're going to go to Flamingo, Florida. We're going to go to a campground that is open all year round. If you don't like the cold, and it's starting to chill off a little bit right now, Daniel.
It's a bit nippy.
It is, and it's going to get worse as the weeks go by. And some people do like heading to Florida to take advantage of the warm temperatures. And if you're looking for a great place to go camping, consider Flamingo, Florida, a part of the Everglades National Park. It's located at the tip of Florida's peninsula in Everglades National Park. And it's a beautiful campground for visitors to enjoy nature, water activities, and phenomenal views of the largest subtropical wilderness in the nation. The Everglades National Park has earned placement as the World's Heritage Site and an International Biosphere Reserve. Now, this campground has 234 drive-in sites and 64 walk-in sites. It's open all year, like we say, and the walk-in sites in loops B and C are in an open field with views of the bay. So if you like having that view when you're waking up, Daniel, when you walk out of your pop-up camper and go, wow, hey, isn't this awesome? I know the first thing that's going through your mind, where am I going to go and where am I going to do things today?
Exactly.
Right,
I was down there actually last year. We went down to earlier this year we went down to Fort Lauderdale, and we didn't go all the way to the east side where the national park is, but we went to a place called Billy's Nature Preserve or something like that. But it was a part of the Everglades, and there's a lot of animals. I don't know if I'd want to be in a tent in that area with so many animals and alligators and snakes, but that's just me.
Hey, as it says here on the website, there's no shortage of things to see and do. So this is a great campground, lots of activities and amenities. A couple things to know before you go. The entrance fee to the park is $10 per vehicle, and it's valid for 7 days. Dead and down wood may be gathered if available, and be prepared for mosquitoes. You got to bring your bug spray. If you're thinking Florida, remember the bug spray. It's a great place to go camping in the wintertime. It's open all year round. It's Flamingo, Florida, and it is our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. And as always, if you have a campground that you would like for us to feature on the program, by all means, get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, and we will put your campground, the one that you have been to, the one that you want to rave about, we'll put it on the show for everybody else to enjoy, too. Well, Daniel, that's about going to wrap up this special edition of the Happy Camper Radio Show, episode 125, and today we were talking about not being preppers, but being prepared to camp in the dark.
Yes, sir.
And it could happen anytime.
Anytime.
We may end up doing it this year sometime. You just never know.
I hope not.
I feel for the people on the East Coast, the West Coast, who have been going through some very, very hard times, but it could hit us very well here, too. Hey, folks, remember, every pet deserves a loving home. Do like I did. Visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. You can visit us online anytime at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, add us to circles on Google+, and now subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip, I am a happy camper, and we're going to do our best to make a happy camper out of you. Catch you next week. You're listening to Happy Camper Radio.